you impressed with Merab beating Umar?
Yeah, I was very impressed with Merab beating Umar. For Merab to do what he did to Umar was incredible. It was impressive because I didn't think he was going to be able to take him down as much. I think if Topuria wants that, I think Topuria can fight Arman. If he beats Arman, then he can fight Islam.
Islam catching up to you guys?
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, Islam can do everything. He can kickbox, he can do Muay Thai, he can submit you, he can grapple, and he's been very consistent.
I've seen you grappling with the Nurmagomedov crew. Your jiu-jitsu seems to have gone up a level since retirement. What was that experience like for you?
And the second day was grappling, got caught in that Dars twice, and it was a good time. I was very grateful for Habib and Islam to let me into their camp and share a moment with them.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, here for Essentially Sports Andrew Whitelaw alongside one of the greatest of all time, Demetrious Johnson, former ONE flyweight champion as well. We're here in Bangkok, Thailand, ONE 170. Real nice surprise to see you here. Caught you in the lobby and you very generously given us some time. How's life treating you post-retirement? Loving the podcast, killing it in jiu-jitsu as well?
Thank you. Life is good. Spending time with the kids and the wife every day. Continuing to train jiu-jitsu and continuing to grow the Mighty Cast as well. So just staying really busy.
You're looking as good shape as I've seen you. So
always.
That discipline hasn't gone anywhere, huh?
Absolutely not. Like, it's funny. I did some training with some other professional fighters. And they're like, damn, man, you're still in good shape. Why are you in good shape? You don't come back and fight. And I was like, nah. But I also think that a lot of people, just because you're not a professional fighter doesn't mean why shouldn't I be in shape? Right, it's a lifestyle that I've always lived by for the last 18 years of my life. Just because I'm not fighting anybody anymore doesn't mean I just piss it all away.
Is there any one thing that you're allowed to do now, or you let yourself do now that you weren't letting yourself do as a fighter?
No, I do a little bit of everything. I mean, even when I was a fighter, I kind of ate whatever I want, especially when I came over here to ONE Championship, fighting at 135 as opposed to 125. So I was allowed to let my body actually be natural, just like walking around. But yeah, as far as things I did when I was training and now, no difference.
What's it like being back here for you, being among Fight Week, knowing that you don't have to perform? What brings you here?
What brings me here is to be part of this amazing event in Bangkok to start their brand new year off in 2025. And obviously we have the BCME that's being filmed here as well. And so I wanted to come out here, and we got a couple of Mighty Casts. I'm going to try to get out here too with Jonathan Haggerty and Stan Fairtex. Because Jonathan Haggerty has a big fight coming up here in Qatar, and then Stan Fairtex, she just got back from injury, so it'd be nice to catch up with her, see how she's doing, and just enjoying the vibe, man. And during Fight Week, it's always funny because I used to go through the exact same thing that fighters are going through right now, and I don't miss it one bit.
Tell me about the podcast. You are killing it, and the content's really high level, both in terms of production, but also it's interesting to listen to. Can you tell me about the thought that goes into that? Is that something you wanted to do for years?
Yeah, I think one of the things I've always wanted to do for years is, one, train with a lot of athletes that I could never train with, just because I never traveled, I never did any cross training. And two, when it comes to the podcast, I think one of the things that resonate with the athletes, because I've done everything that they've done. I've cut 8.5 pounds in one day to make weight. I've defended my title. I've lost my title. I've been knocked out. I knocked out people. I've gone through the struggles of like, man, what am I doing this for? What's your goal? Are you doing it just for money? Like, I think I bring a different insight to it. And I think another thing is that I don't have to be be political about things, right? When one of the things I want to talk to Rod team about, I was like, hey, you're about to fight, Takura, and it's like, it's kickboxing. Are you pissed off that it's kickboxing and not Muay Thai? Because that's your strength is, like, your elbows are so dangerous. Yes, I get the fact that you go back and forth, but like, are you pissed that you have to do Muay Thai? A lot of people wouldn't ask that question in a press conference. I would, and then he goes, oh, I couldn't do it. And I was like, because I feel you would probably destroy him in Muay Thai. And then if Rodman was, hey, he's not a Muay Thai fighter, he's a kickboxer, so that's what I'm going to do, kickboxing. Probably just answer the question. But would you prefer like to do Muay Thai? And he was like, yeah, I prefer to want to do Muay Thai, but he's not on my level Muay Thai. Let's just get that's how you can make it a little juicy. It's like, he's not on my level Muay Thai, right? So that's why I think the Mighty Cast does very well, and that's why I love doing it, and I love talking to athletes.
Does Rodtang get it done in kickboxing? What's your breakdown of that one?
Yeah, I think he does. I think the biggest thing when I watch Takura, I might be saying his name wrong. I think he's very good, very fast. His last fight, he got dropped, and he came back and won that fight. I saw his fight against Super Lake. Super Lake beat him up. Super Lake, I think he's the best right now. Just the way he does his feints, the way he does his kicks, and how tough he is. And then I think Rodtang has that granite chin, very good technique, very good eyes. He's able to make adjustments as the fights go on, and I think he's gonna get it done.
I've seen you grappling with the Nurmagomedov crew. Your jiu-jitsu seems to have gone up a level since retirement. What was that experience like for you?
Oh, the experience is amazing. To be able to grapple with those guys, just be able to train with them. You know, we did 2 days. We didn't film the second day because I told my producer, I was like, dude, let's just go out there and vibe out, right? I know it's always about capturing content and trying to do stuff. But I said, the second day, leave your camera at home. You're going to train too. I said, let me ask you a question. What's the next opportunity you're going to get to be able to train with these guys? He goes, probably never. I was like, yeah, so leave your fucking camera at home and let's go just go grapple. And the second day was grappling. Got caught in that Dars twice, and it was a good time. I was very grateful for Habib and Islam to let me into their camp and share a moment with them.
Did they teach you anything? What was your biggest takeaway?
Takeaway was how hard they work. There was no doubt about, when they fight, you see it, and to be a part of it. And that was just 2 days. They do that for 8 weeks straight. So that's why, they're one of the best team in the world, and that's why they have such a long lineage of, undefeated fighters, or they only have like 2 or 3 losses.
Are you still a student of the game? Do you still like to watch? Were you impressed with Merab beating Umar?
Yeah, I was very impressed with Merab beating Umar. Going into the fight, and this is the thing, like, I think Merab will say it too. Merab has said it, that there are people in the sport of mixed martial arts that are better than him in certain areas. Like Henry Cejudo is a better wrestler. If it was pure wrestling, Merab was like, I think Henry probably beat me. If it was pure striking, I think Sean O'Malley probably beat me. But it's mixed martial arts. I'm going to mix it up. And for Merab to do what he did to Umar was incredible. It was impressive because I didn't think he was going to be able to take him down as much, and I thought Umar was going to be able to take him down, but I knew that it was going to come down to who's going to be able to execute that wrestling, like who's going to be able to execute the wrestling and pose a role in that area.
We're obviously talking to MMA royalty. Everyone asks you about who's the GOAT, and I think generally you just say that's up for you guys to decide.
Yeah.
Is Islam catching up to you guys?
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah, Islam can do everything. He can kickbox, he can do Muay Thai, he can submit you, he can grapple, and he's been consistent. He's been very consistent. It is about winning it's about winning fights and winning world championship, but it's also about being consistent in that time, not getting in trouble, not missing weight, not popping for drugs, not feeling, So I think he's definitely along that on his way to reaching that GOAT status.
Topuria wants him next. How much do you like that fight?
Yeah, I think that's a great fight, but I think I don't know who else is left in that division for Topuria. And same thing with Islam Makhachev. I think they're going to have to run it back with him and Armin. I think if Topuria wants that, I think Topuria can fight Armin. If he beats Armin, then he can fight Islam.
We've got Tom DeBlas here looking after the jiu-jitsu. Have you thought about getting involved more in some kind of influential role like that?
No, I haven't thought about that just because I'm so focused on myself, and I sound selfish as fuck, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm focused on myself and the Mighty Cast, and my journey in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the gi. I think Tom DeBlas is doing a great job. I think the biggest thing what's going to make Jiu-Jitsu move further is just getting the best matches and the most exciting matches booked under the one banner.
What do you think of what Craig Jones is doing right now?
I think it's amazing. I think for him to be able to put together this, massive tournament and to pay, 2 athletes, Kay Bertolo and Nicky Rod, $1 million to win. They're the highest paid grapplers that I know who prize money that's won, right? And the check's cleared. I haven't heard anybody say the check didn't clear. So, you got to, give him a round of applause and give him flowers because he's trying to make sure athletes can make money in the sport of jiu-jitsu, which I think athletes should be making money in the sport of jiu-jitsu because, but there's also a thing where, like, how much money is jiu-jitsu actually bringing in? And then you have the drug testing, the steroids. So it's a very, very, there's a conundrum there. And I think one day it's going to get solved.
I'm doing a little feature on Nico Carrillo. I'm really excited about that fight with Nabil. I was very excited about the Super Leg fight. This guy seems to almost have like a David Goggins bulletproof mindset. He runs ultra marathons. He's been saying he's going to be the champion for the longest time. He's been with the same coach, 27 years old.
He fights at 140. He fights at John Hannity's weight.
Bantam.
Yeah, Bantam. Yeah, big fan of his. The reason why is because for me, growing up, I was like, when I look at athletes, they want to be built like a superhero, right? Like biceps, chest, abs, and he's built like that, right? And I remember he was supposed to fight. You know, he knocked somebody out. I think he was like, "I'm coming for that belt, Haggerty. Get it ready." Da 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 da. And he's been winning. And then now Haggerty is in the middleweight champ. Super Lake is, and so now he's going to be fighting. He's stepping in to fight for the interim belt because Super Lake got injured. That's right. So big fan of his. I'm excited to see what happens. He brings it when he fights. You know, he's been dropped a couple times in his fights, but that's a sport of Muay Thai and kickboxing. You know, it's banger after banger. So we'll see. I'm excited to see what happens, man. Because like I said, sometimes I don't recognize the athlete's name to the person, but I've seen him fight, and I'm a fan because he's built like a fucking superhero, and he's also good too.
Looking back, how pleased are you with yourself that you got in there with Rod Tang, did some Muay Thai as a martial artist? Not many other dudes of your kind of level have done that. You know?
I think so. I mean, you look at what's his gentleman's name? John Lineker, he's done it, and he's been very successful at doing it. And I think that's granted to him and his heart and his power and how he just hits like a fucking truck. And for me, you know, I was grateful to be able to get in there with the best with Rod Tang. I'm glad it was one round Muay Thai and the second round was MMA because I got to go to my world and end it there. But yeah, I was happy with the performance. I think it was very good for me to take that match because it only built my brand even more.
And Pantoja calling you out, everyone still talks about you. How do you find that you're still very relevant?
I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome to be relevant in a sport where you don't have to I haven't got punched in the face since almost 2 years now. And I think the reason why I'm relevant is, you know, there's a new wave of fans coming into mixed martial arts just because how big it is now. And when people come into a sport, they like to look at like the infancy stage of the divisions or the infancy of the sport. So guys like Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, Ken Shamrock, I mean, George St. Pierre, Matt Hughes, myself, Joseph Benavidez. I mean, the list just goes on of like the old school guys who were at a point of time where social media it is and what it wasn't. It is and what it is, what it was back in the day. And I think the things that I've done in mixed martial arts, like the flying armbar, the last minute submission on Kyojo Horiguchi, the flying knee against Adriano. I think people are going back and like, who's this motherfucker? Where is he at now? And they're like, oh, he's retired. And he goes, fuck, man, we missed out on how do we? God, can we go back and watch all his fights? That's why I think it's keeping me relevant to this day.
It's a hell of a highlight reel. Okay, to wrap up, 2025, what fight are you most excited to see? You said you were going to interview Haggerty and Stamp. They've got some, we're going to see Stamp against Denise eventually, right?
Yeah, I would like to see Stamp just focus more on mixed martial arts. I think there's more money to be made there in mixed martial arts. I would love to see John Haggerty make his debut in mixed martial arts. I mean, these guys have both been, John Haggerty's been a Muay Thai world champion and kickbox world champion. Why not venture into MMA?
You going to train with him?
You know what? I am going to be going to the UK here pretty soon. And I would love to link up with him. We've talked about it. And if it happens, I'd love to. I would love to link up with John Haggerty.
How's your British accent?
It's good, mate. It's good. You know, the fucking wankers. You're taking a piss out of me. You know, so I have family who are actually in the UK and I actually met them for the first time. We spent like 2 weeks together and they're trying to like a bowcat. You know what a bowcat is? A bobcat or a bowcat. Bowcat. You know what a bowcat is? I guess that's street terms in the UK. So, but yeah, I would love to do that, and I'm looking forward to 2025.
Sick. All right, man. Demetrious Johnson, one of the greatest of all time. Always a pleasure. You're the man. Cheers.
Thanks, man. Cheers.
Respect.